Good evening, everybody. How's it going?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, there we are.
There we are. I gotta make your thing bigger here. Gotta make that thing bigger.
Oops.
I scared you. Sorry about that.
Scared you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mr. Dots was saying that I scared him.
Oh.
Well, how are we doing tonight?
We're doing all right.
We're doing.
I'll tell you who scared us was Voltar. We all hope Voltar's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was on a video shoot all weekend, and I was driving home, and I saw a thing on our Discord that apparently he has suffered a heart attack and was on his way to,
or some sort of I mean, he was
episode,
some sort of cardiac episode. Yes, yeah. I mean he has. I've never really known the specifics, but I've known he has had some heart challenges in recent years. I think he had a really hard time, like after he caught COVID some years ago. Like he had a really hard time getting back to 100%, and I'm not sure if that was like kind of when it was the onset of like those issues. I don't know if it was because of that or just coincidental timing or I don't really know any of the details. I just know that I know that he had made posts about like cardiologists and this and that. So
right.
But he posted this video of him being first person, well, not first person perspective, but selfie cam on a stretcher being loaded out of his house and into an ambulance. I mean, he seemed lucid and
watched the video
himself
in the car. I didn't watch the video. I just saw like a freeze frame of the video.
It's very short.
Getting taken away like on.
He was like being taken out of his house and into.
Jeez.
Into the ambulance. He's just like, oh man, you guys are fast. But as they were carting away, but yeah, so he just posted that with a message, and but I mean, he seemed his good humored self. Yeah. Well, so
hopefully he's able to.
Hopefully we'll have an update.
Yeah, that he's okay
in short order. But yeah,
if and recover fully and is all right.
Yeah. Hopefully, whatever he can do to get it all under control.
Or the doctors
happen
get
quickly.
It under control. So, but we're all pulling for you. So.
I'm sure you're going to be playing on a system that he has worked on in some fashion.
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm using my SNES Junior via component into the SVS, the scalable video stream.
Oh, is this going to be the first stream via the SVS?
Yeah. And then which is then going into the Retrode 4K via D-Sub or VGA. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So
nice.
Switch over to that and
I would definitely say like our feelings on the SVF have evolved beyond the initial like, oh, I don't want to uproot my setup and put this thing in. Like exactly. we're excited about it now. It's I have finished just in the past couple of days doing all of the tests that I needed to do to put my mind at ease about it. And we will be integrated into our setups.
Yeah,
or I mean, you pretty much already have. Although we're going to be making some changes because, like, we actually really want to utilize those VGA outputs, like as much as possible.
Exactly. It's really made a big difference. You know, I was not looking forward to like integrating into my setup, and then I think it was like earlier in the week, I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where, you know, like the usefulness and like how robust it can be really started to shine through.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have
so much like extraneous stuff. Like,
you're gonna like show that in the video, right?
Yeah, it's
like this
so
like
much
big
stuff.
massive pile of stuff you like pulled out from behind your setup.
I was
because
able
it
to remove
streamlined
an entire Extron crosspoint from my setup to.
Oh, apparently my audio is peaking. You know, let me do that on my end.
I turned you down, but it's peaking. Like I don't have control over that aspect.
Well, yeah. So, yeah,
I can.
We record a podcast. We record a podcast, and for some reason, like everyone was like, "Oh, Try, you're really quiet." I'm like, "Really?" Yeah. Like I haven't changed anything.
I can turn you back up here too.
Well, hold on. Here,
well, no, I can...
like if I turn like way down to this, is that better?
I mean, I think that sounds pretty good. I don't think anybody's going to complain at that level.
All right. I mean, I moved it down to 50, so I can go either way. From my brain, I think I originally had it like down at like 30 something.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty good now. I think I should have gotten that energy tank.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Gosh, he says there's a massive standoff a couple blocks from my house right now. What? Was completely shut down when I came back from Target. I can hear helicopters now. Jeez.
Who's saying that?
Madonna Sheehy.
Oh, jeez.
Everything's going crazy tonight. Or today. Or whatever. Is my audio all good now?
Yeah, let them know if it's better.
You know, one time there was like I was going down these back roads that I normally don't go down, and it was like very obvious that the cops were like strategically positioned in certain places along these back roads because probably they were looking for someone, right?
Yeah. Was this today?
No. This was probably a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I was really nervous though because like I didn't really know quite where I was, and like I'm like, oh, this isn't the way to go, and I'm like trying to turn around and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I hope this doesn't look suspicious.
It probably did.
It probably did.
Yeah.
They never went for me though.
So I think some people thought that you were going to be playing this tonight, and it was like kind of a last-minute decision for me. I was actually going to play a game at first called Whisker Squadron. It's a Star Fox-esque roguelike that came out, or it was in early access for a while.
Does it have like polygon graphics and stuff?
Yeah, but it's kind of cel-shaded too.
Yeah.
But I started playing it, and I was like, you know, I feel like maybe I need to get a better feel for it before I stream it. So this was something I thought about for a while, but then I'm just going to do it. And I'm exhausted. Had to like work with a crazy red camera all weekend, like using like a whole like Steadicam setup with it. I'd never used anything. I'd never used such an expensive camera in my entire life. That, you know.
I was a record. You know, I recently, I think it was in like a B. I feel like it was maybe like in a B&H email or something that like made some like I get Red was bought out by someone.
Yeah, who was it?
Like Nikon, I think I'm pretty sure it was Nikon.
Oh,
I think Nikon bought Red, which seems crazy to me. You know what? Speaking of like cameras, like this is I think something that's existed for a while, and like it's probably something you know of because like you are like more aware of things that are out there and things people do and are interested in than I am probably. But like I was just made aware of this last night because I saw like, you know, I was logging into Final Fantasy 14 and I saw like a message that that there was maintenance. There's going to be maintenance on Monday. I was like looking up like what's going to be implemented, and they're like implementing this like one of the things they are implementing is a photograph emote, like your character like pulls out a camera and takes a snapshot, and like it's part of like a collaboration, cross promotion, whatever with Instax. Are you familiar with this at all?
What is it? Instax?
Instax is like owned by Fujifilm, and it's like modern Polaroids, and it looks kind of awesome.
Okay. I didn't know the name of it, but I know that something like that existed. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it's like they make like I think like 3 different sizes. Like I was like reading up all about this because I thought it sounded really interesting. Okay, Madachi says I have an Instax Mini. Is it cool? Do you like it? Because I'm like kind of almost interested.
Yeah.
Like FF14's collaboration is kind of is marketing at work on me. It's like there's like I think 3 sizes. There's like mini, square, and wide, like different sizes of film. And you can get like a camera that uses those, or you can just get like it's just like a, I don't know if printer is the right word because I believe it is using a photographic process very similar to Polaroid. You can like get a printer like that send this stuff over your smartphone. Yeah. So you could send it like game screenshots. You could send it pictures you shot on your phone. You could send it pictures you shot on your Lumix camera with that instant camera lens. Yeah, you know,
which arrived
like
today.
I
almost streamed
like that's. It's kind of awesome. It sounds like several people in the chat. Raccoon of the Moon, Dingus Glurt. They Madashi, he says yes. I'm obsessed. See, I'm like kind of very interested.
How expensive is it?
I mean, obviously you have to get the packs of stuff, packs of things. But like let me go to Amazon. Like I'll just say like Instax square film. Like it seems to be like, at least for this square format, it seems to be like on average like $1 a film card.
Okay.
So I mean, but you know, part of the appeal I think of doing something like this as well, like I very much feel this way. Like it's been a long time since I shot my film camera, but like I brought it out like I don't know, probably like 10 years ago or something. Like I think it was the last time like I went on a trip out west with my parents. Like I was like, I want to use my film camera this trip. It's fun because you're much more intentional with your photos, right?
Yeah.
Like
because you can't just
you can't
just take a million shots, right?
Exactly. Like so, it makes you. I like the way it makes your gears turn. So I kind of love the idea of this. I'm very fascinated by it. Let me look up Instax mini camera. Like I think there's a bunch of models. I'm already seeing like several models that range from like $80 to $200.
Okay.
Like that's just the camera, but then you can get, was it Instax?
Like a printer.
What do they call it? Do they call it a printer? I don't think they call it a printer because it's a photographic process as far as I can tell. And like, you know, it sounds like the longevity is pretty good. There's another format called like Zinc. It's like Zero Ink, but it sounds like those aren't very long lived. Okay, I think it's called like Instax Link. So you can get the mini printer for $100. Although there's a few different forms. You can get the square printer for like 140. You get the wide printer for 150. And you could like print.
So it starts adding up.
It starts adding up, but it's like I like the idea of this. I really like the idea of this. Like I'm
totally.
I'm kind of into it. I'm very, very tempted. Their collaboration with Final Fantasy XIV has piqued my interest, I have to admit. I don't like to admit to marketing working on me, but, you know, every once in a while you learn about something kind of cool.
I feel like I was doing pretty good there. Now it's like I'm falling apart here. I don't know if this has limited continues or how that works. I guess we're gonna find out right now.
Jeez, Madonna Sheehy's in shelter in place.
Are they
Crazy
announcing that? Are they saying
insane.
that? Like specifically shelter in place?
Just says, glad she got groceries when she did.
Jeez.
Not 15 minutes later. There was right before the stream started. There was a notification
send me
that
back to the beginning of the level.
Say what?
It doesn't send me back to the beginning of the level. It sends me back to the beginning of the scene.
Oh, nice. Is that the first time you died, or
Yeah.
do you know if you have limited game overs?
It
doesn't
didn't show me any
something-
continue numbers.
No.
So
Okay, well that makes me feel less nervous.
yeah. Especially if you only have to go
anyway,
back to the beginning of the scene, it's not even. I feel like the new version was made to be harder because like they have like both of those or all of them have like made some decisions. All Tango Project's games have made decisions that made them harder. Like the fact that guns, if you play in multiplayer, like there's no continues, right?
I don't remember, but they're also harder just by virtue of having more content. You know, I mean, there's more stuff to get through. But anyway, right before the stream started, there was a notification that Enchilada Backloggery has been a member 16 months in a row. Thank you. Saying, have fun with Ninja Warriors. That is quite the classic. Hope all is well, gentlemen. 16 months. Yay. Yeah, I actually just got this game. Like I did my first retro shopping of the year a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this for, I mean, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, I don't remember how much I even paid for this.
I bet we probably played similar prices because you got yours several years ago. You got it at like a convention, right?
No, I got this from Arcade Legacy.
Okay. I remember you were really looking for it at like Retro World or Midwest Gaming Classic one year.
Yeah.
I think it was too expensive though. No, I got it for $109, which is like, don't get me wrong, that's expensive. But I also hadn't seen it at a convention for like less than like $180, $190, $200 for like a couple of years now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's kind of like where we're at.
Yeah.
With like a lot of the stuff that we want to
get. We're like, ooh, $109. What a great deal.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had seen it actually, like Video Game World had it several times actually for $120. Then like I saw it a time or two for like $109, like I paid for, but they were not great condition carts. And this one kind of had like a yellowed back shell, but like otherwise, like the label was in good shape. There was some grime on the front plastic that was easily cleaned off. I mean, I might consider like swapping the back shell someday, but it's not bad. It's quite good. So I was finally happy. Like the condition and price coincided to the sweet spot finally. for me. But yeah, I mean, I have been contemplating streaming this sometime soon, but here you are. So
yeah. Just
I actually thought for some reason you had already. I actually wasn't.
I think
for some reason,
thought
like
about
you
it.
might have already streamed it before. But
I feel like I thought about it at one point. I like that. I like the tailbone, like knock. He picks him up and puts him over his knee like that, like just messing up his tailbone.
The big guy here, I think, is by far the best character. Like I love his like.
Well, he's kind of like the easiest character, I think.
Yeah.
He's like, I remember I couldn't beat the new version until like I played as him.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like a good person to start with.
Yeah, like usually like the biggest character is not my favorite in a brawler or a fighting game, but he's awesome.
It's weird though because there's so much there's a lot of characters in this and there's a big difference between them.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 characters in this.
Yeah.
Or there's no like unlock. I mean, the game doesn't have a battery or anything, so I don't think there's any unlockables. But the new version has 5 characters. I think there's 2 unlockable characters.
I think that new version was like my favorite game. Was my game of the year in 2019.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
But anyway, there was a $20 super chat. Thank you, Robert Hernandez. Saying, happy Sunday. Curious to know if your SVS endeavors have triggered any cable management / OCD urges within you. It's been hard for me to resist the temptation when I look at the stack of stuff I've now removed from my setup. You know, I saw Rears of Blood was asking, so what is the SVS anyway? So to kind of answer both questions, the SVS is the scalable video switch. Actually, I had a browser window. Scalablevideoswitch.com. We've got review kits.
Yeah, but people have them. Like the first batch.
They have. The first round has been sold. I forget. He told us that
they should. He's thinking it's going to be in March. Is when it's going to get refilled. Like the video will be out probably right before they get restocked.
There's maybe some possibility it could be out by the video could be out in the next week, but I'd say more likely the following week.
Yeah, but it's I mean it's hard to say, right?
The script for my part is finished.
Yeah.
So I was actually thinking about voicing it.
Unfortunately, inundated with day job stuff, just like how I was gone all weekend. And then...
But anyway, I've finished the tests that I needed to do, and I am pleased. Because you're focusing more on features and what is it and putting it together and stuff like that. And I'm focusing on quality.
Yeah. As we tend to do. Tri has such a keener eye for that information, and he just thinks of different comparison scenarios that I no longer have the brain capacity to think up. I guess, or deal with it.
Well,
it's kind of true, I
barely do because it keeps me I actually I end up revising the script where I didn't say it exactly this way because I was trying to cut down on my words. But stuff like this keeps me up at night. It literally does.
Yeah.
I overthink video capture stuff so hard that I'm what if I'm doing this wrong? What if it's not right? Maybe I should do it this way instead. Maybe that will. Well, if I do it this way, and if I do this version this way, and then this version this way, is that an even fair comparison, or would it actually make more sense if I did it this way and then this way? Would that be even, or would that be uneven, or what's the fairest compare? This stuff literally starts entering my dreams, and then I'm tossing and turning and can't get it out of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you can, because I just feel as I just have so many other things each day to think about, I don't have the the capacity anymore to do it.
The point is, it's good that I've done all of these very thorough tests, because now we know, like, okay, what are there concerns with this or not? You know what what do we gotta do to get the best out of this? And I'm confident I have the answers for you in my segment of the video. So I'm pleased where we're at on that. But anyway, back to I was actually looking. I wanted to go to the store because oh, not quite. None of the modules are $20. I was going to say that $20 might have bought you an SVS module. No, they're 25. They range from like 25 to 35, depending on the module. But anyway, has it triggered any cable management / OCD urges? I mean, we've been kind of saying for a while that, like, you don't want to overmanage your cables, because you want to hide your cables from sight. But in terms of like what's hidden from sight, like, you don't overdo it with like the management, because then you're just making it harder to pull out.
Yeah.
Next time you need to work on it. So, however, I already had, like, I would say my SCART cables pretty well managed. I've had to pull some out due to, unlike Coury, like Coury has his SVS fully integrated.
Yeah. And I've like changed things around once I decided that, like, I'm gonna like completely integrate it now. And I've changed so much stuff. Really in just this last week, just I was able to pull out so many wires, essentially.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But anyway, like, I've not fully integrated it, because since I've been doing the quality tests, I've been having to move wires between G-SCART, G-Comp, SVS, direct to Retrode 4K, direct to OSSC, stuff like that. I have been doing a lot of the tests on the OSSC, because I feel like the OSSC just like really lets you like look at the raw signal if you turn off the low pass filter in a way that like the Retrode 4K almost makes it look too good still, even if you turn off the low pass filter. Like, I want to see the noise. Like, I want to see, like, are there even though you are going to have a low pass filter on during normal use, like, I wanted to like really look at and see, like, okay, what are the problems? Like the main thing that it's inspired in terms of cable management is I'm going to ultimately be using the VGA output module to run everything to the Retrode 4K. And I'm going to get an extra one to run everything to the OSSC Pro, and another one to run to the PVM. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a lot going on in terms of that stuff. So, that I guess getting rid of some of those extra cables to run into the upscalers, it's improving that, but otherwise, no, not really, because my cables have already been more or less where they need to be. However, that said, I am intending to do another rewiring stream, because people seem to get a kick out of those for some reason.
Oh, yeah, it's been a long time, so I think that people will be very excited. The last time was 2021. Okay,
so
but still, I guess
really that long, because that was when I decided to get rid of the stupid drawers. I was wiring up the Besta, so it won't be that intense. But like once I am done, once we're done with the video, and I'm like, okay, it's time to like actually like put these things as they should be. I will probably do another rewiring stream, probably like on off day, probably not on a Sunday night. It'll probably just be a random day. There was also a notification that Scott Snyder has been a member for 54 months in a row.
Jeez.
Thank you. Always one of the longest running members.
Yes.
Saying, I turned 45 on Tuesday in my mind, but I'm still in my 20s, but my body is constantly reminding me that is not the case.
Yeah.
Wishing Voltar a speedy recovery. Indeed, we all are.
I told Troy when I first saw him on camera, I was like, that beard's like looking a little white, a little grayish.
There's patches, you know.
Yeah. I don't. Look at it. It looks more grayish than mine does.
Oh, wow.
At times. My chest hair though is like getting real. Like it has I have a started out with like a white hair spot right here, and it's slowly spreading. Yes.
Yeah. Like it's more like kind of like on like the angle like between like that turns like under here.
Oh, okay.
Like that's where it's starting to get a little grayish, but I mean I never really let it grow out. Like I mean I don't shave often. I usually shave like a day or two before I shoot like on camera segments for videos, but otherwise, you know, I shave like twice a month. You know, who am I trying to impress? Master Saver Voltar had some sort of cardiac episode today. He's kind of had heart troubles over the past several years, but we don't have any updates. But he posted a video to his Twitter of literally being carted into an ambulance. So
yeah,
hopefully we hear an update from him soon.
I saw that somebody says, I imagine playing this after playing Ninja Saviors would feel really limiting. And I thought that at first, but now I'm just finding out that like a lot of the same moves exist. They just use different button combos.
It's still pretty in-depth. I mean, it's been years since I played that anyway, so I don't think I would feel that way.
I mean, it's going a lot better than I was expecting it to be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see if I ever get any gray hair up here. You know, but my issue is more the bald spot, right?
Yeah.
Which is exactly like my dad. Although my dad, you know, had even thinner hair than me. You know, my whole life, I would say. But my dad also doesn't really have gray hair. So
where did that guy come from? Was just killed by like a hand coming off the side of the screen, the edge of the screen. I don't know if there's. How much is the SVS? Like, really depends on what you need.
Yeah. So look at the and by the way, like there's like future modules and stuff like that coming out. So you can start out however you want.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, if you already have a switcher, you might, you know, want to like just like start small potentially. Like,
yeah, because you can run your switcher manually.
Yeah, I mean, you could really you if you already got like G-SCART, G-Comp, or like an Extron VGA switcher or something like that, and you want or another kind of composite switcher or something, like you could actually use like you don't in theory even really have to use the SVS like as a switcher. Truly, like you could use switchers you already have. Like you could just buy like one input module of each type, chain switchers you already have to it with good cables, and then use the VGA output to like send everything just through that to the Retrode 4K, for instance. Like the whole point of it is it's customizable, right?
Yeah.
Like you could use it for a variety of purposes. And we're definitely going to be daisy chained existing like G-SCARTs and G-Comps to it. Because like we've only got, I think, 5 SCART inputs and 3 component inputs, and then like 1 each of VGA and composite S video, and then 1 each of each output time. But we're going to be getting more VGAs for sure. You can have a maximum of 32 inputs and
per section. Or per
section, like there's
you
going
can string
to be
them together. Like they're going to have like
not yet, but
yes. But you can do like up to 248 inputs, like by linking SVSs together. Like it's just like who would ever need that many? It's funny to think that I'm using all 248. Even that one guy that one guy that had all those systems hooked up doesn't even need that many.
But yeah, you I don't know if it's going to be like a special control module. Like I don't know if like we'll need to clarify with them. Like I don't know if like if for the multiple stacks, I don't know if you like buy one control module per stack and then like a separate thing links them together, or if it's a special control module that's like 2 in 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, so basically what you buy is you buy a control module, which is $40. And then you can connect up to 6 inputs to it. Or excuse me, 6 outputs to it. And the outputs are component, SCART, and VGA are 35, and then composite S video is 30. And then those are the input. Okay, so the input modules are the more expensive ones. Okay.
Yeah, but only by $10. But you only have 6
So that's the input module. So you can see how it can get, it get expensive to, if you've already got switchers, you might want to like daisy chain to it.
Yeah.
So the input modules are mostly 35, except composite S video is 30. The output modules are all 25, except for VGA, which is 35. And then there's also optional $15 Toslink modules that can be put onto any module.
Right.
So it varies. I mean, you can go to the Scalable Video Switch site, even though you can't buy anything right now. You can go to the SVS store link and you can see all those prices and price it out. But so it's not cheap, but it's very flexible because you can send out everything over that VGA to a Retrode 4K or an OSSC Pro.
Yeah, or multiple.
Except that won't accept composite or S video, but it'll accept everything else.
Right.
So it's very powerful how you can do that. And, you can get like last time I got one, it was relatively inexpensive. Like you can get like VGA matrix, Extron VGA matrices on eBay for not too much. So like you could potentially also like, use that VGA output as a matrix, combine it with that and stuff like that. Although you did have a problem running the VGA to a BNC Extron for your PVM, right?
Just SCART to BNC.
You're using
like the sync on green has to be on.
For SCART to BNC, but you were using, you got working when you made just VGA?
Yes, just using.
So you're still using the extra. You're still using the Extron.
Well, to feed different PVMs, I am. Yeah, I'm using. I had 2 Extrons in my setup before, and I was able to remove one of them because I just have an Extron feeding different PVMs. But there's other things coming, like even. One of the things on the roadmap that should be out in the next, I don't know, before summer is one that will, component output that will convert RGB to component. So if you have like a CRT that just has a component input on it, and you wanted to run RGB to it, it's going to be it's a transcoder, so it'll transcode the signal. I think that might even use like the same technology that's like used in Mike Cheese, was it RGB to comp?
Yeah, which I use sometimes.
Yeah. And just that, like that's gonna
AV club in high school. If only I had such a thing.
That that'll make things a little bit easier for me to send stuff over to the B-roll table, because right now I have to send 2 signals or 2 cables over there, and now like I'll be able to just combine it all into one. So I'm just thinking about like all the different wires I'm able to remove from my setup. Complicating it is pretty crazy.
Yeah. The one warning is that anything that might use resolutions above 240p and 480i, so 480p on up, you want to put those as close to the control module as possible. So you want to have those be like, early inputs. And I show how, like 1080p, 720p, like if you use component cables with the PS3, they get a little softer if you don't put them in like an early input. And even 480p, the effect is more pronounced the higher the resolution. So 480p, like, it doesn't really matter if you're using like optimized RetroTink sampling. Like, but you can like see actually if you're using generic sampling, you can actually see a difference if like component input 1 versus component input 10. Even for 480p, you can see just a slight difference. Minor. It's a little softer. For 240p and 480i though, not an issue. Like Artemis tells us that it shouldn't be a difference up to the maximum inputs for 240p and 480i, but we can't test that. So, but you don't need to worry about, because I tested like input 1, input 10, and there's 0 difference for 240p.
Jeez, these guys do major damage. I don't know if you saw
the Japanese version of this game has green blood. I don't know why you would particularly want green blood. Does this just have no blood?
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any blood in this.
I don't know if I necessarily need my robots bleeding green.
Yeah. There was $3 from Cade the Squirrel via Streamlabs, so it won't show up. Saying,
yeah, I see it.
Thank you. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
It's green oil.
Actually, there was one from Tinder Brew that I haven't.
Oh yeah.
Either because I'll do that first. Sorry, because I got rambly about the SVS. Saying Tinder Brew. Oh wow, another $20. Thank you. Saying, hey dudes, glad I could stop in tonight. Been a busy few months, but always enjoy the content. Only shout out tonight is for the most underrated entry of a series, Super Punch Out, a legit gem. Yeah, I gotta say I was really impressed when I got around to playing Super Punch Out.
Is it considered the most underrated? Like people would consider like the Wii version better, you think, these days, or does it seem more popular?
I feel like no one really talks about the Wii game, and I think it's excellent.
Yeah,
I think the Wii game.
I mean, they're all good.
Good.
Yeah,
they're all good. Well, the arcade game I don't think is that good, but
it's fine. Are you familiar or tried that game Thunder Ray? Where it's kind of like a spiritual successor to Punch Out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a physical version.
I have not heard of it. But no, yeah, because I thought, there's no way Super Punch Out could be better NES Punch Out. And I've never really liked how like Little Mac is kind of transparent in that. Like I kind of like Little Mac being more like below on NES because like I don't know, it just looks better to me. The transparency has always been a little strange to me on Super Nintendo, but it's a great game. It is a great game, and I think the Wii one is as well. I actually beat NES Punch Out using motion controls.
Really?
Yep, I did. I wanted to challenge myself to do it. It's probably too old to do that now. Anyway, to go back to Cade the Squirrel's $3 quasi super chat. Thank you. Saying, since the demise of Citra, would you guys consider an episode dedicated to the best way to play 3DS games, such as capture cards, IPS screens, and maybe even soft mod? I mean, we've kind of already done that. I mean, we've done it to the extent that I'm currently interested in doing, because we did that video. I mean, I don't really. I think Loopy's. I want to say Loopy's kits have come back. I don't know what the status of the Japanese kits are. If anything has come back around on them. I mean, I would love the 3DS situation to improve because it's not great. You know, I actually captured.
I guess that's the way you beat him, is you just stand there. You stand there and let him walk into your punches.
I captured some footage from Donkey Kong Country Returns on 3DS for John's DKC Returns HD video. And you know, it's always something. It's always something is some hassle to get working right when it comes to using the capture methods. Like, it's always like, oh, why isn't this working this way this time? Or, oh, maybe I'll do it this way this time because this isn't working. You know, so it is a hassle. I'd love to learn more about if anything new has come up in that space. I mean, I'd love to see a proper HDMI or even dual HDMI solution someday. You know, the USB isn't that enjoyable, I would say, as a method of outputting video, in my opinion. I'd love to see something better come along for that. But like in terms of like, I don't know if there's like replacement IPS screens or anything like that for 3DS. That's not something I've looked into. But like, I am definitely like, I even when like early on, like people would ask us and early on the channel, like when you could actually still buy 3DSs. People were like, oh, like you ain't got any tips for like winning the 3DS screen lottery? And it's like that is a path I do not wish to walk down. Like that's. Like, I understand, like, why people, like, because, like, they can have inconsistent screens. It's kind of annoying. But it's just, like, I don't think I have the fortitude to, like, return the system, like, a million times trying to get, like, the exact perfect screen combination. Yeah, like, and, like, in terms of, like, third-party replacement screens, I thought that the whole Game Boy screen modding thing was a miserable experience. So for me personally, so I don't have interest in revisiting that topic unless a really good new video output solution comes along. Then I would be interested. But like beyond that, I don't think I'm the right person to really tackle that. I'm not that interested at this point unless it's video out. Sorry to say. There's also a 999 super chat from Jersey117. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, would a G-Comp or other switch alleviate any of the issues with having the input close to the control unit? Yes, it should. That might need to be something I need to verify that like there's no difference between like G-Comp inputs. To be honest, I've never tried looking for differences between G-Comp inputs. I don't think there are. I think they're all equal.
Yeah.
And G-Comp, like I have a comparison already made of daisy chain G-SCART to G-Comp, and they're on G-SCART and G-Comp. They're like if you go and are like, you know, taking color samples in Photoshop, like G-Comp and G-SCART is like minusculely darker than a direct connection, probably just due to the natural length of the cable, the extra length of the added run. It's probably why it's dark. Like it's almost in, doesn't even matter. And besides, on the RetroTink 4K, you can, you know, do the auto gain, you know, to fix color differences. On the SVS, it is the most minuscule amount darker than that. So there's really, as long as you're using good cables, like for G-Comp, I'm 100% about buying those male-to-male HD Retrovision cables. Like those are the only RCA cables like I know I can definitely 100% trust, right? Because I've had issues with others. So like as long as you're using like cables like that for the daisy chain, running a G, you could just like, and that's exactly what I think I'm going to do actually. I'm going to put because I don't actually have enough room in my cabinet for the full SVS for all the modules that we currently have. You know, maybe I could expand it when that expansion module comes out. But like I can't even close the door with it right now because of all the testing I'm doing. I just have it all there, and I'm just moving cables as needed for production purposes. But that's exactly what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to put component
Is that a
input.
He just did this flip, and it's like, all right, that's gonna makes the elevator go.
But I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the component input. I'm going to just use, because I've got 3 component input modules from the review kit, but I really think I'm just most likely going to use the and I'm going to run just put that at the top.
Oh, that's what
Run
they
my
do
G-Comp to it, and then that way the main purpose of all that is just to help distribute the YPBPR signals through that VGA output. But then I'll actually use the switching functionality of I'll use the switching functionality of for some of the SCART stuff, because I'll eliminate one of my G-SCARTs, because I've got 2 G-SCARTs. One is fully populated with 8 inputs, which includes the daisy chain from the other G-SCART. So it's really, I guess, 7 systems hooked up to one, and then there's 3 systems hooked up to the other. So probably I'll probably end up using all of the SCART modules that I have and fully populating them. But the things that I have connected to the G-SCART aren't going to look any worse, because G-SCART's just that good. So don't need to worry about it. And I'm not intending to use any 480p stuff with SCART, so it doesn't really matter where in the chain it is. Although I will say, I discovered this completely by accident, and then talked to Artemis about it. The VGA input module has a sync combiner, which means it generates, you still got your HV sync, but it generates a C-Sync that can go out the it'll go out the VGA output. It'll also go out the SCART output. It's because I was like on either the OSSC or Retrode 4K, I can't remember. And I was like, I actually had the SCART RGBS input active. And then I had my Dreamcast on with a VGA cable connected to it. I'm like, wait, why the heck do I see the Dreamcast through the SCART? Like, that shouldn't be. Because it's HV sync. No, it generates C-Sync. So that's really cool, actually. You can you can, like, the key use case for that, I think, would be the Retrode 5X. You could use VGA Dreamcast through the SCART on the Retrode 5X.
Oh, I did it.
Which is really cool. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good stuff for testing Dreamcast with. So I'm a little limited in what I can test for VGA input, but the VGA output is very sharp and very impressive. There was also a 5 Canadian from Tiltoast. Always good. Always good to see good old Tiltoast and get the opportunity to say Tiltoast. I like saying Tiltoast.
Tiltoasty.
Saying, great stuff, guys. Keep it coming. You are true Ninja Warriors. I can tell. By the way, I saw a while back and forgot to say anything. Some people seem to be indicating that they couldn't hear the music all that clearly. I don't know if you maybe
I can turn it up.
Turned it up.
I can do that. Let me know if that's better. Or if it's too loud now.
Now, Jersey 117. You don't have to have the signal very close to the control module for 480p. Like I have an example comparing component input 1 versus component input 10, and it's like for 480p it's crazy. Like, and that's using generic sampling. If you use optimized sampling, there's zero difference. So it's not. It's probably like Artemis has recommended for how close. Gave us his recommendations for how close it should be, and he said he doesn't think it's problematic until 16.
Yeah.
For 480p.
And then even then, it's probably...
Most people probably wouldn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it's not problematic. I can't test 16 inputs. I don't have them. But he said it shouldn't be a problem until 16. So, especially if you're using Retrode 4K optimized sampling, and if you're playing on a CRT, you're not gonna notice it. Or if you're using CRT effects, I think it's very important to remember, for all of this effort I'm putting into testing the quality, it's mostly for stuff like what Coury's doing right now, where you are doing sharp, optimized. I don't know if you're actually using.
No, I'm not. I'm using our standard.
This just the generic profile.
Yeah,
I like to use that sometimes just because you don't have to think about it and it works for everyone. It's maybe not perfect, but anyway, I lost my train of thought. If you're using CRT effects and stuff, these minor differences, only even begin to potentially be a consideration if you're using if you're going for a sharp pixel look. Either this or optimized sampling. But if you're using scan lines or a CRT, it doesn't even matter. Or essentially doesn't matter. This is where you would start to see those 1% differences, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's not a huge concern. It's just that it would be best practice to put modules that potentially could have 480p close to the stack. It is not.
No.
I
like that I can hit you through.
If you could post GIFs or other images in YouTube comments, the entirety of the comments section for this video would be that it's this they're the same picture meme, which is good. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about these differences only because I am looking so hyper close, but they in real world practice it doesn't even matter, because you can any differences that do exist go away with the low pass filter on your upscaler, go away with optimized sampling, go away when you've done the auto gain setting, go away when you're playing on CRT, playing with CRT effects. We are talking about vanishingly small differences. And I explained that the only reason I'm going this hardcore is because I have had situations in the past where I had an issue with a scaler and I made unfair comparisons because of it. And I need to make sure that doesn't happen again. So that is why, I try to illustrate why it matters, but in the end, the situation is largely good. But there's just things like that you do want to be aware of.
I was hoping that was going to be a checkpoint.
Huh?
I said I was hoping that was going to be a checkpoint.
There's a notification that Shadow Mask has been a member for 40 months. Thank you.
Dang.
Saying, I spent much of the last 18 months working on a localization project for Mobile Suit Gundam for Sega Saturn that released this week.
Oh, so is it out?
Proud of the team.
I'll have to grab that.
I got my well, it's technically not hooked up right now because I had to unplug my PS1 and Saturn to be able to access all the switchers for so my part of the video will have a lack of Saturn and PS1 if you want to make up for that in your section. Because well, in general there's a lack of variety because I'm mostly focusing on Super Nintendo, specifically the modded Junior, just because it's the cleanest output, and I want to use the cleanest output so that we can clearly see okay, is the SVS introducing an issue? Is this the final boss?
It might be. If I beat it right here, I feel like that'll be the quickest I've beaten a game on stream in a very long time.
Yeah. But anyway, I say all that to say my Saturn's not hooked up right now, but before I had to unplug it to start working on the switchers, I did get my new what do I blank on the name? The satiator. I got that installed.
Right.
I loaded 2 games on it, and that's all I've done on it. There was was a $5 super chat from EB Chill 2 just now. Thank you as always. Saying bought a Sega Saturn with a broken optical drive and a Saru. Another successful attempt at making my backlog insurmountable. Hey, if my book, if it's not a flash cart, it's not officially part of the backlog. you can pick and choose what ends up on the backlog.
I'm pretty sure it's just like I gotta break the glass. Doing some damage, but not enough damage here. Yeah, it might take a few tries.
Does this version of the game have co-op, or is that only in the new version?
I don't think this one has co-op.
And then there was a $5 super chat from Mega X6. Thank you, as always. No comment. Always, thank you. Stage start operation. Yeah, you've done pretty good. I feel like I really struck out with like my last two choices of stream games. Like I feel like I picked games that were bad for streaming.
Oh, did you finish Euphoria too?
I did. I was honestly like really annoyed with it by the end.
Just because of
I couldn't figure out how to get the rocket parts. In retrospect, it's like actually kind of obvious, but like the icons didn't especially look like rocket ship parts. Like it's like when you go into an area, like it lists a challenge and you get like bonus money or something if you get into a challenge. Well, the areas that have the rocket ship parts, they had you either had to, there were 4 parts, and 2 of them where you had to get through the area without taking any damage, or get to the end in a certain amount of time for the other 2. And I was not paying that close attention to the challenges, and like I just didn't notice I just didn't notice it. So like you looked up a video because you couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember.
And you like figured out eventually what the guy was doing.
Yeah.
Like they make it seem like you need a new ability or something to like defeat those armored cats, but you can't actually beat them.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like there to make it more difficult for you to complete the challenge. Yeah, I was honestly pretty annoyed with it by the end. Like the game just had like way more reading than was necessary. And like you had to go through the same areas a million times, but also those areas are like randomly generated every time you go through. Like there's like certain pieces of like platforms and stuff that like appear again, but every time you go through an area, like the layout is different, which is like a weird idea for like a Metroidvania. So it makes it pretty confusing. Like, how do I get here? How do I get there? Like I don't know. It's kind of a weird game. I was frustrated with it, but like I probably would have been less frustrated if I hadn't streamed it, because I get very, unless it's a game where I mean, it's not a game where you had to pay that close attention to the dialogue, really, but like, if it's a game like I've played before, like, you know, when I did like Final Fantasy V or you did Chrono Trigger or something, like, I don't get that annoyed, because, like, I don't need to really read the text. I know what's going on. But like in a game that I'm playing for the first time, like if it gets overly wordy and I'm streaming it, like I can sometimes get annoyed with it, because I don't know, I feel like a pressure to keep it moving, but I also feel like I need to read the text, and so it ended up being the wrong game to stream. And same thing with Thousand Year Door, which obviously is excellent, but like I ended up streaming like the most talkative chapter in the game. They had like very little combat, and it was not. Not my two finest picks of stream games, I have to admit. So I'll definitely, I think, pick something a little more light and arcadey and straightforward next time.
Like the Ninja Warriors.
Yeah. I honestly, I very likely would have streamed this next week if you didn't stream it this week. I'll pick something though. Ooh, Monster Party. I mean, I do want to play Monster Party and probably stream it sometime, but...
Is that the NES game?
Yeah. That game was a little too weird and potentially slightly obtuse to meet the criteria that I'm looking for right now. I want to play something that's a little bit more of a surefire bet of like, I can like probably definitely get through this. Or make really good progress at least.
Keep on walking into those stupid things.
There was an $8 super chat from Junko. Thank you. Saying with the Switch winding down, how does everyone's Switch usage break down over the years? Docked/tabletop/handheld. For me, 50, 40, 10. Really? So you're saying 40% tabletop? That is
tabletop?
Like, I assume tabletop is like using the stand with like separate, like unattached Joy-Cons, wireless Joy-Cons. Or
I don't think I've ever played it like that unless I was filming it for some reason.
Yeah, I may have done that a few times for shooting. I tried it one time on that Switch like announcement video that has the person playing it on like the airplane TV tray is a dirty lie, false advertising. You cannot play it that way because the tray is too close to you. Like you could do that
in first class, maybe.
Maybe.
I've never been in first class, so I can't tell you.
I was in the one time I was in first class was when and it was like a tiny plane, so it wasn't like a luxurious first class. It was when we went to Japan and my flight to Atlanta was canceled and they got me on the one to Detroit instead. The flight from Charlotte to Detroit was like a small plane, and since they like got me on that like very last minute, it was first class. Didn't have to pay for first class, so I just paid what I was already paying. Yeah, it wasn't all that special, but it was nice to be near the exit so I could get to my plane to Tokyo. But anyway, like you could do it actually with like the OLED with like the better stand, and you could like, because you can make it darn near laid down, right? You could do it with that, but with the original Switch, there's no way you could play it tabletop. But yeah, Junko says yes, Bluetooth controller plus kickstand. Yeah, I've essentially never done that. Like Coury says, like maybe a few times, like while shooting B-roll, like I might have like. Actually, no, I probably didn't do that because if I needed to like navigate to something, I would have been doing it with the controllers connected. So I basically tried for like 10 seconds to play that way on a plane once. Like I really can't honestly imagine. Like I have envisioned that, like maybe,
Oh, is this going to be?
Cool.
Oh, that's right. He self-destructs.
I've envisioned, maybe at a convention, like if we were bored enough in the hotel room, like Coury and I might play, Mario Party or Mario Kart or something. But
if there's like literally nothing else to do,
like
which has never
literally nothing else to do. Usually we just like talk while you put a bad movie on whatever's on TV.
Yeah.
Like last time it was like the
Tomb Raider reboot.
Oh yeah, that's pretty bad. But all the new Tomb Raider is pretty bad. But and after that it was like the Jackie Chan remake of Karate Kid.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah, handheld is like functionally 0% ever. I would say probably.
I can't believe I finished that. I was not expecting it to be kind of a breeze like that.
Yeah. I feel pretty confident about that now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I beat it in like a little bit over an hour. DCGX says I tried tabletop once, and that was enough. Yeah.
Waiting for a U-Haul. Yeah, that sounds like exactly like what I would imagine.
So what am I playing next? I guess.
Am
I playing Whisker Squadron?
You should try it. Why not?
I played it. I played the intro.
You should show us what it's about. You were talking about it earlier. Anyway, I would honestly guess like probably 10% handheld at best and probably 90% docked. Like even when I go to my parents' house, like before I had the BenQ projector,
hard mode,
I would sometimes play docked on like the used projectors that I had set up there, like those 720p projectors. I played docked a few times like that, but mostly when I visited my parents, I would play handheld. But now I've got spare switch dock set up to the projector in that room at my parents' house, and I very rarely play handheld when I visit my parents now. Mostly docked on the projector. Like the most recent time I probably did was I think it was when I flew to Germany last year. Like the night before, I went over to their house, stayed the night, and I think I just played a little because I'd already started Great Ace Attorney 2. And I was like, oh, this like a visual novel style game just feels like something I want to like lay down on the couch with, But yeah, I definitely play some Switch handheld when traveling. I almost always play something to some extent. But when I am home, when I am at my house, right here, I essentially never play handheld unless it's like one, shooting video like at my B-roll table for the show, or two, like maybe I'm like, oh, like I want to play this demo or something and I don't feel like turning on my TV. Otherwise,
so it looks like this is different every time. A little bit of story between each one. So let's see how it goes. Let's see if there's different levels.
Oh, is this on your PlayStation?
Yeah.
Does your continuation mean
this was
you have decided to take the job?
It was only soon that I saw on Saturday.
I don't believe attacking the swarm will result in them compensating you for your home. I want them destroyed.
A little bit. It seems to be like a story that kind of plays out.
Then I suppose our interests are aligned.
It seems like so the pilot of the ship got recruited to fight this armada based on like scores in the game, so it's almost like Last Starfighter-esque.
Oh yeah. You know, I actually watched that a few months ago for the first time.
Oh yeah, what'd you think? Had you ever never seen it before?
Never seen it. You know what? I watched it on VHS.
Oh.
It was. Well, I thought it was sealed, but the bottom was actually open.
Game volume super loud. Sorry.
But it still had like the shrink wrap over like the box.
It should be better now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I watched it on VHS. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's fun. This strikes me as a game that would be loud.
Yeah.
Like I find that like sort of retro style indie games like mix the volume ultra loud.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I played it. Like what I've played so far, it seems like this is the only style of level that I've played. But there can't be only one style of level in the entire game.
Surely not.
So, you know, you level up and you get augmentations and stuff for your ship. Let's try this.
Speaking of roguelike stuff, seems that Housemarque's next game is going to be pretty similar to Returnal.
Yeah, I can understand why.
No complaints from me.
At what?
I said no complaints from me.
No, I'm not going to complain about that at all.
That's Returnal was amazing. Of course, it was just a cinematic trailer, but it sounds like Saros. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to go for more. They're going to have like more permanent stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't read anything about it. I saw.
Yeah, I think you know, mostly in a bid to increase sales.
The what?
I think a lot of people were just too intimidated by Returnal. It didn't have enough like permanent upgrades and stuff. But really, like I kind of felt there was enough.
Ooh, chain death lightning.
Because like you unlock things, like each run gets easier because of the things that you unlock, right? Like I never died on the final biome. Every time I got to the final biome, I beat it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you're just
So
better at the game than I
not.
was. What can I say? I mean, it took me a lot of attempts to do it.
Well, I think I was just I was much more methodical in my. I think I just, kind of just took it at my own pace, I guess.
And use VP in the hangar to upgrade. Purchase to new features and upgrades. Here we go. No, I got perks now.
I haven't been paying attention to the.
Oh yeah, I mean
to the dialogue. She says clumps is a swear word.
Maybe.
That's kind of funny. That reminds. What did they say in Xenoblade 3? They're like, oh, is it? It's like spark something. So like, they're like, what the spark? Something like that. Someone in the chat will remember. How I can't remember. I can't think of like an example of how they used it in a sentence. It was spark something.
See, I'm convinced that this can't be the only style of level in the entire game. It just seems weird that it just looks like this.
Yeah, how much is it?
It's $20.
Oh, for $20, there has to be more environments.
Oh, okay. Combos.
which will help with permanent ship upgrades.
Okay, so there are permanent ship upgrades.
Your ship is equipped with advanced maneuverability options.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to
Yeah,
be
there
like
you
something
go, that was-
like this, like purple.
You may have noticed
You'll have good examples.
the launch system
Spark
is
off! Spark off! Shut the spark up! I don't think that one was actually used. What the spark? The spark you on? I mean, that sounds very, very Xenoblade. The spark you on about? What the spark? The spark you on about?
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be more to this. I just, I saw it mentioned on Blue Sky, and I said, that sounds like exactly like something I would be into. And, like, sure, like I will absolutely support something like that. I've been getting into this thing where I've been buying a lot of games digitally, like that are on sale. Like, if they're like under $5 for like full games, even if it's like something I have on disc, if it's like $2.99 or something like that, it's very hard for me to resist. Like I saw that even if I have it on disc, like I will buy it just to like have it without having to like worry about getting a discount. I don't know. It's like it's just a.
I mean, if it's a pick up and play game, sure, makes sense. I mean, my Switch OLED is full right now, and I don't have that much digital stuff, but obviously like game patches and stuff take up space. My SD card is not particularly big. Like, I don't know. It's probably like 256 or something.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely put a bigger one in there, but
Pulse
at this point, like, it kind of just feels like there's not much reason to. Let's wait and see what happens April 2nd. I hope that, like, I have this bad feeling that Switch 2 pre-orders are going to go up the day that we're traveling to Midwest Gaming Classic.
Well,
isn't that just a few days after the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super worried about it. I feel like it's going to be a situation where they have a lot available.
I think they will, but like it's Nintendo. There's going to be a lot of demand.
It wasn't. Hasn't people talked about like, oh, they may like pushed it back so much so that they could.
I mean, I think they've been stockpiling components for a long time. They've probably been building it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think they will have a lot of stock, but I still think there will be challenges, probably because, retailers, I don't think their full stock is going to be available like the first time they go up. Because, usually it's like, oh, like more stock has become available. Target was already sold out in 3 minutes, and then like Target lists it again, like hours later.
Like I've been trying to get that, like a 5080. Now I only specifically want a Founders Edition because of like its smaller size, and it's just like, in Best Buy is really the only one that's like been selling, like that one specifically.
I mean, it's crazy.
It's been absolutely laughable. Like the entire experience has been laughable.
Isn't the 5080 supposed to be like $1,000? But then the 5070 just came out, and I think it's like 1,000 or more than that.
Yeah.
Like,
just
the prices are going out of control.
It's the one that's 1,000.
Huh?
The Founders Edition is the one that's 1,000. Like, there's other ones from other people that are more expensive of 5080s. But I just want the I just want a Founders Edition, and if I can't, that's all I want. I don't want another kind. I just want one that's not going to take up like 2.5 slots.
Robert Hernandez, Super Chat, says, Corey, never underestimate Nintendo scalpers.
Yeah.
Or just rabid Nintendo fans that, you know, we all want it.
Yeah. But, you know, chances are that there's going to be, like, no chance for anybody to get them. The way things are going. It's like, you know what? It's just not fun to buy anything new anymore. Like, anything. Like, if it's something that you want to get and there's, like, other people that want it, it's not fun. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's got to be something more to this game. It just feels like very bare bones. Like,
are you still only in the second like branch?
Yeah, but I made it farther than this in another branch.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the game called again? I'm gonna look it up and see if I see screenshots.
Oh, Whisker Squadron. Whisker Squadron, Googling, is there more than one type of level?
I mean, I'm seeing some screenshots of like some like they've got grids.
Okay, so it's
here's a level that looks more like Corneria.
Okay, so it's gonna change. And there's like other ships. You got to play far enough into the game. There's other characters.
A giant bug. But it kind of feels. I feel like the game should be hitting you with like more variety early on to like keep you engaged, though.
Yeah.
Like maybe after you've done a few runs, like maybe like you progress in some fashion that like lets you get past this part quicker. I don't know.
Right. I mean, it just does not seem like it's moving very fast. So, but we'll see. We'll see. You know what? I think it's like made by. I mean, if you look it up, I feel like it's just made. It may have been even made by one person.
Yeah.
And I am happy to support stuff like that.
Jersey is asking, are you supposed to keep practicing the dodge and move forward in the tutorial? Like, like, are you not doing what it wants you to do?
That's, yeah, it looked like it was. Oh my god, that was like... Now it says run start. Okay, thank you.
You hadn't even started the run?
But I'm super powerful now. Sorry, that's on me.
Well, you know, I always hate that where tutorials are like, okay, do this move this number of times before we let you move on.
Like that, right? Put a counter, like put a counter up on the screen that says how many times you've done it. So you know that you need to do it.
Out of energy.
But the idea behind this is interesting to me. So we'll see, like, if it's see where it's at.
Daryl George says, I tell you what, when I stream, I'm so dumb. It's like, I don't notice anything indicated by the game. I mean, it's true. It's like, even though people like accuse us of like not paying that close attention to the chat, like, I know I don't, especially when I'm playing, I don't pay as close attention to the chat as I would like to, but like, even the fact that I like am intending to try to pay a little bit of attention, like it is true, like my ability to notice things the game is telling me to do is like greatly diminished. Like, and it's really a problem, like especially when you like, especially like in a game that like might not like really direct you where to go, but like the NPCs say like, go here, do this, do that, and like my mind is just on like trying to keep it moving for the stream, and like so like I just don't, or the conversation, and I'm not paying as close attention to the things the game is telling me to do as well as I should.
Obviously, that's what's happened. What's happened here.
Yeah. It's never, the ability to do it has never really improved with time.
I mean, it still has the same visual style, but at least it's, you know, like there's more obstacles and stuff.
Fenris is asking if I'm preparing my wallet for the next convention appearance. Well, I spent all my Christmas money at the retro stores the other week, so not yet. But you know, when we go to Milwaukee, we usually don't have. I mean, we can have a table if we want, but like usually they're more about just like having the guests just like roam around and say hi to people than having like a table. But so I don't know if we'll be selling a lot of shirts at Milwaukee or not.
Yeah, I mean, do you have all this shirt stock? I don't feel like I have no shirt stock here.
I've got a lot, although Audie still has some of the shirts that didn't fit in my bag.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Just wearing them every day, probably.
Well, he was going to come a few weeks later because he was in the country. He was going to stop by, but then he ended up not. I hadn't had an opportunity to see him since. Yeah, let me tell you what. Like selling shirts definitely makes you want to buy video games.
Yeah, and it's nice because that's kind of like what we use to buy stuff at conventions.
I would not have bought Kudelka, let me tell you what, if it weren't for them shirts. But like, you know, we were making pretty good sales at Long Island. I'm like, man, I'm suddenly feeling the urge to buy a PS1 game that would normally be out of my price range.
Yeah. I was
actually looking for like either Tales of Destiny 1 or 2, but then I saw Kudelka and I'm like, oh crap, I'm probably gonna buy this, aren't I? And I asked them to look at it, and it's like a really nice condition, and it was a better price than I had seen it for lately, and I'm like, oh no.
Ooh, we got some
rare
cursed choice. Every time you take a hit, it becomes stunned for the next 2 action zones.
Yeah, well,
Swarm Revenge.
I am not blaming you, Ariel, for me spending money. I'm thanking you. I'm thanking you for giving us the merchandise that empowers me to spend money.
Boost for the next 2 action zones. Oh, a new power was dropped. I guess we're gonna do the rush or die. Here we go. So this is just Act 1. So I wonder if Act 1 looks like this.
Here we go.
Maybe.
I mean, it's kind of like in like Hades, where it's all the like areas, like look the same. Except for this feels like it's going on for a long time.
Where is Sandy? This is a great question.
Yeah. Where's she at?
Sandy. Sandy, look at what Coury's doing. Coury is playing Whisker Squadron, Sandy.
I just really like that name, too. Right, it's pretty good.
Sandy, come look at Whisker Squadron. Look. Yeah.
So when we were all gone all weekend, so Nellie went to the neighbor's house for 2 days, to our neighbor's house who has 2 dogs. I think it was the first time that Nellie has had dogs that she could just play with freely.
Yeah.
And they had a really good time.
Did she?
Oh yeah.
Like, Sandy has never really been in that situation. Like, she doesn't even like bark at other dogs, really. Like, cause she is much more interested in people than dogs.
Yeah.
Come say hi. Come say hi.
And there goes my combo. I can't shoot.
Sometimes when she runs up the stairs, she was just doing it just now. When she runs up the stairs, sometimes she's just like farting every step.
Dang.
like she was going
like a single dog fart is enough to like basically kill me. I can't even imagine like that.
Well, it's over at the stairs. But sometimes she's like right up the stairs and I just hear.
Dang.
I mean, you can be a farty dog sometimes.
She's like that extra lift to get up the stairs. just a teeny little bit of extra push.
Yeah.
What am I doing here? I have to kill a certain amount of enemies? Is that what's going on? Like this thing right here. Yeah, yeah, I guess that was it.
Yes, that's the last of them here.
You're not in much of a mood to entertain the people.
Alright, so we're going here. Let's see what's going to happen now. Oh, jeez.
Let's see what they've got for me here.
Let's try the proximity zapper.
This damage output is a safe bet.
It looks like I'm getting close to the boss, though.
Sandy is 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, you got Nellie like a year later, right?
A year after you got Sandy?
Yeah.
No,
right?
Nellie just turned 3 in September.
No.
Yeah.
Really? No.
Yeah. We got her we lived in this house.
Laser damage.
You got her after you moved to the house?
Like a year after.
Yeah, I guess you did. Why did I feel like you got her a year after Sandy? I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely a while after. It was like a year after living in this house. It was like mid-pandemic.
Oh, I remember.
2021 probably.
You know, I didn't. Didn't your wife and kids pick her up when we were at Retro World?
Yes.
Which was like the first convention we had been to since 2019.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because they had it like the first time they brought it back in at the end of 2021. It was in November. That was the first convention we had been to since 2019. Jake is asking, does this game let you adjust the sound effects volume? Is it still too loud for people?
Yes. Yeah, the sound effects are a little loud.
Finish with this zone.
Kamal Zamer says, please come to the Texas Retro Gaming Convention in Austin. Please tell the organizers to invite us.
What's going
Love
on?
to go.
The swarm have deployed an elite level robot.
Okay, so we got
That doesn't sound good.
the Arachnid Daddy. Gotta fight the Arachnid Daddy.
What's it saying?
Oh, Fenrir says, I am already writing scripts for some of the systems you'll be sending my way, Try. Eager to get to work on them. Yeah, I'm going to send Fenrir some stuff, and I guess you'll do some videos. I believe I've got all the components. So I should probably try to box those up tomorrow. I am like so slow at like packaging stuff. Like I could never run a business where I had to like package things any more complicated than just like putting stuff in a bubble mailer, which, you know, we've done with like Blu-rays and stuff. But
Yeah.
I like packaging stuff in a box. I'm like so slow at it because I'm like overthinking it. I'll like overthink like you know, trying to optimize the space, make sure I've got enough padding, and then like on the actual outside of the box, like I tend to like overdo it with the tape because I'm like, oh well, what if like the corners get poked or something, and so I'm like reinforcing like the corners of the box with tape. It takes me like it takes a significant like by the time
Come on, did I do it?
By the time I'm like, I am going to
How did I
package this
die?
up and get this sent. By the time I'm like done, I'm like, why is like such a significant part of my day gone? How did this happen?
Dang it. I was gonna beat that boss.
Well, should you try something else?
We're like over it.
It's not the most exciting game to watch, I have to admit. Once you kind of see the
They had
flow of
a
it.
deal for $11.99. You could get Wolfenstein 1, the New Order, Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus, the Old Blood, and Young Blood for $11.99.
But I've got them all on disc.
Yeah. I understand. I don't know. Like, I just feel like, all right, well, it's just right there. Why not? And then I can install it on my Pro and upstairs. Like, then the kids can play it if they wanted to upstairs. Should I try Another Crab's Treasure? I'd never played it.
Oh, it's pretty good. I'm sad that, to my knowledge, a physical copy has not been announced. I tried it when it was on Game Pass. Like, I think it was on Game Pass when it launched. I don't have Game Pass right now, but I did at the time. It's pretty good. I mean, you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Souls-like.
Yeah. I know.
It's I mean, I only played like 30, 40 minutes, but it was good. Has anyone heard of a physical for that? Because I really want.
Not yet.
So do you own that, or was it free on PS Plus?
No, I bought it. It was on sale around Christmas.
Mm.
When I went through a bunch of stuff in my on my wish list. I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. Should I try it?
Yeah.
You think it'd be okay? Is it okay to like start out with that, or to?
Yeah, no, I think it would be fine. There's some light tutorializing, but it's done in a very, it's got some funny writing.
Treasure.
But it's not overwhelming. It's not too much like talking or tutorial. Like, I think it's fine.
Another Quab's treasure.
Let's see, Enchilada says, I don't know about you, Try, but I enjoyed Dynasty Warriors Origins. I want to get it. It looks good. The only Dynasty Warriors, I mean, I've played a bunch of Muso spin-off games, but the only Dynasty Warriors I have played is 8 Extreme, or whatever they call it. Is it XL or Extreme or something? I forget how they term it.
What word comes to mind when you think of the Earth? For some, that
I think it was
word might
Nitro Rad
be
that said all the
beautiful. Others might
crabs
say
in
the
this are
world
based on
is
like real
hateful,
crabs, like
or
real like
evil,
sea
or
things.
unstable,
Mm.
or full of shit. But above all else,
Extreme
the
Legends,
word
that's
that
right.
best describes our world is resilient.
Yeah, I always heard like
Against
9
the
was kind of
odds,
bad for some
time
reason.
and time again, creatures adapt.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm a little bit curious about that
Some learn to feed on
that
others, steering their
roguelite
vitality to their own.
Dynasty Warriors.
Some become scavengers, living off what strangers leave behind. And
Like
others
when it,
thrill, as we will soon see.
like I wonder if like with like the massive number of enemies, if it kind of feels like
Prefer to
Vampire
be
Survivors.
simply left alone.
So you played pretty far into this?
Oh, only like 30, 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But I was very impressed.
Sir, please open up.
Look at that Quab.
Oh, you're not a bird.
Sir, are you the owner of this residence?
You mean my shell? Yeah, it's mine. Do you...
I think this is a really good looking Unity game
represent
too.
the Royal Duchy of Slacktide, which has recently annexed the territory surrounding and including this
It's got
title.
a Band-Aid on
I'm
this shell.
here to inform you that you have outstanding taxes that date back in upwards of 10 tides. If you are presently unable to pay this balance, the duchy will claim you home until you...
Hold on. I've got some questions. First of all, what's a duchy? Also, taxes.
Okay. So basically, the Duchess of
I
Slacktide
know I
owns
can
this
see this.
whole
I'm gonna
area
skip
now.
it. 'Cause I'm gonna skip
Well,
it.
it doesn't go on that long.
Well, it's too late.
Acknowledge knowledge.
Oh, it does like the weird talking.
Wait!
I have no shell. I have no shell. I should give Bloodborne another shot.
I think you should play the Demon Souls remake.
Yeah. It's just like the
Did,
world of Bloodborne like interests me a lot more.
There's been I don't know if it's like multiple interviews or if it's like excerpts from like 1 or 2 interviews, but I've seen some things popping up lately. Like Shuhei Yoshida left Sony, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like, so he's like been doing some interviews lately.
Like been
And I was reading this one where he was like that, they had a deal with From Software on Demon Souls. And
oh yeah, yeah.
And Yoshida was like, like, apparently really bad at the game and just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, wow, this game is bad.
Yeah,
And
but to be fair, I think that it made sense.
It makes sense because it was a new concept, right? It was a new
Yeah.
concept. I understand why he felt that way, but it's funny in retrospect.
Yes.
And so apparently From Software was like annoyed that they backed out on their deal to publish it in North America.
Right.
They only publish it in Japan. That's why who published it? It was
Atlas?
Atlas
Where am I going?
ended up publishing it. And then, it becomes this massive hit. But it's like it's so interesting to look at, like I can understand like why someone would be like, well, this game is bad. Like, they just didn't understand the intent or context of it. And then it becomes this massive hit that, so that was why From Software worked with Bandai Namco for Dark Souls.
Right.
Like the next game probably would have actually been a direct sequel to Demon Souls, I bet. But as it is, they're like, not in the same lore. I think you need to jump into the water at the end of the path.
Oh, off the cliff? Okay.
There was a notification that Legendary K4 has been a member for 25 months. Starting out in your third year. Nice. Saying, off topic, looking at getting my first ever PS5. Is the Pro worth the price difference from the Slim? Playing on a 58-inch 4K that was $400. Nothing crazy. Probably not really. I mean, honestly, kind of the weird thing, if you watch Digital Foundry, the weird thing about how PS5 is kind of shook out is there have been a lot of cases where like the upscaling on the, I think over the course of this year, it's probably going to get to the point where we don't really have problems like this anymore. But early on, there were a lot of examples of like, wow, why does the PS5 Pro version look worse or have all of these caveats? Because like certain effects in the game, like a lot of ray tracing effects, didn't play well with PSSR and things like that. So there's like a lot of things where like it's not even guaranteed that the PS5 Pro version is even going to be better. Like usually it is, or usually it it is at least a somewhat smoother frame rate, but it's certainly not a guarantee. So like if you're, it doesn't sound like a huge TV, and if it's not a fancy TV or anything like that,
PVR, right?
The PS5 Pro is such a niche product, and it's considerably more expensive. And I would say it is only for the people who are like obsessed with, just getting that much more out of everything. Like, I would not worry about PS5 Pro unless you're like really sensitive to like, I mean, do you play like a lot of like Switch games docked or something like that? Like if you don't like hate how Switch games look docked, then you're not going to hate how anything looks on a standard PS5.
Ugh, is there a way to change it so that I just want the attack? I want attack on square.
I know what you mean, but I do feel for actual Souls games, it makes sense because you want that camera control all the time. I mentioned this when I was talking about God of War Ragnarok. And
I know you like changed it for that.
I did. It made a huge difference for me. But like in actual properly Souls-like games, I do like the shoulder button attacks. But it annoys me when it turns up in games that just like other action games. Like last night I tried Freedom Wars Remastered.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember how the original Vita version controls were laid out, but I was like immediately annoyed. I didn't bother to change the controls because I'm not going to be playing through it anytime soon, if ever. But but I was like immediately annoyed that like attack was on R1.
Yeah.
Like that kind of game, that feels like a square button melee game to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I want square button to attack in this. So you really need that, like that camera control, like all the time. That's the reason it's that way, is so you can.
Well, I think there's 2 points to it. I think it's one, like I think originally where it came into Souls was that they were supposed to represent like your left hand and right hand, right? Like left hand is shield, right hand is weapon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could equip, in theory, a weapon in both hands or a shield in both hands if you wanted, or shield in right hand, weapon in left. You know, in that context, I thought it made a lot of sense. I don't know if you have that kind of flexibility here. I'm actually noticing that he's using his weapon in his left hand, which is interesting. But I don't know. For some reason, in Souls games, it just clicks for me, and I think it's smart and makes sense. And I think it's worth getting used to. But like when they start doing shoulder button attacks in like non-Souls games, I don't know what it is, but it bothers me, and I just want square triangle, you know?
Yeah, that's what I want right now. Microplastics and leveling up.
Oh, Slim with disk drive for $425. Yeah, that's a heck of a deal. That sounds like a great deal. I really think you should take that Legendary K4. Because yeah, if you're going to have a disk drive, to add that to a PS5 Pro, I mean you're adding a ton to that plus tax. You know what, Legendary K4 in our Discord channel, Henry Clark here. You know, when the PS5 Pro was revealed, and of course there was a whole lot of controversy about it and how much it cost. You know, someone in the channel said this is only for S tier sickos, and ever since then, Henry Clark's name in our Discord channel has been S tier sicko. And I think that is so true. It is only for S tier sickos, like those of us who like just can't stand thinking that like there could be just a little more that we could eke out of something. Just a little more. Is it worth that price? No. Is it a beta for testing upscaling technologies for the PlayStation 6? Absolutely 100% yes. It's not that necessary. You know, basically, like, my goal is like I want to play the best version of a game that I can get a physical copy of, where I can get a physical copy, where I can, you know, comfortably play it on my couch. You know, that generally writes off PC. You know, I'm not, you know, I don't never play digital games, but you know, is not my preference. You know, so for instance, even though by the time I got around to playing Octopath Traveler, I could have played the digital version they had on Xbox at 4K 60. Yeah. I still played it at, you know, whatever low resolution Switch was at 30 frames per second.
You know, I bought
targeting 30 frames per second anyway.
About that on here. I bought Octopath Traveler when I was.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, because when I do play it, like I'd rather just play that version.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that is very similar with Live Alive or Live a Live or however you say it. You know, that was on sale too. And it's like, you know, if I'm going to play it, I would play it. And I started to play it, but then
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me you did
like, it's just like not doing much for me. Like the battle system, it like I feel like you got to be real involved to like stay moving in it.
I don't know.
And I really want.
It's weird. Like you have to be in the right frame of mind for that game. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really that involving, but.
I gotta run to the bathroom. I drank this whole thing.
But you know, there's definitely an argument to be made for PS5 often being the best place to play a lot of new games, just because the PC ports aren't really up to snuff, you know, or you know they've got a lot of stuttering issues that don't exist on the console versions. You know, they might be able to scale higher in certain settings, but they might. And even scale higher in frame rate, but still not be as smooth, as consistent as the console version can be. So I mean, you know, there's trade-offs both ways. Although it sounds like, what was it? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Digital Foundry gave that a very good PC review. Almost no stutter issues at all. Which is sounds like a rarity. Legendary K4, thank you. Are you going to be at Retro World Expo this year? I would love to be. We have not been invited yet, but we would absolutely go if invited. You know, they were very grateful that I was able to come as a last minute pinch hitter. Is that the word? Pinch hitter? Is that the word? Pitch hitter? Pinch hitter? One of those words. Guest. Yeah, so unfortunately Coury didn't make it. But he probably could this year because I don't think they're playing like a big summer vacation like they did last year. Yeah, last year was awesome. I mean, we had this whole section that was me and Audie. We had Bob from Retro RGB, Tito from Macho Nacho, and Retrotech Steve. All together. Was there something? Am I forgetting someone that was part of that stretch? Directly behind us was Clint, Lazy Game Reviews.
Cigarette butts down here.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool setup we had. Like, and Steve's like CRTs that he was selling were just kind of like set up across the whole thing. So like he set up like a Genesis. He set up a Genesis on a PVM at our corner of the table. There was this guy that walked up that played the entirety of Castle of Illusion on it.
I like that when you focus on an enemy, it goes into like a widescreen mode.
Oh yeah, I kind of Ocarina of Time style.
Yeah. This came while I was gone. I don't know if you got this or not. And I wonder if this... A lot of people complained about the tutorials in this. I wonder if this has like those fixed. Because I know they...
I'm guessing it's the Plucky Squire.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I got it as well. I did hear people saying like, oh gosh, like this game is just like stopping the action constantly or something.
Yeah, but then
which kind of makes me nervous because I don't.
But they patched it, I heard, and I wonder if that patch is on the disc.
So did they?
'Cause
So
that
is
was a
it
long time
like,
ago. It was like
can you choose
during
it?
the
Like, is
summer.
it an option? Like, don't tutorialize me like crazy?
I think so, but
Because I mean, the whole appeal of the game, like from the initial like reveal trailer, like I've not really looked at anything on it since the initial reveal, but like the whole appeal is like you're like jumping between like all of these different play styles. And like in theory, it should just be intuitive. Like I don't want it to tell me exactly how to do everything every time, you know? Yeah, I have not tried it yet.
all right, I'm gonna try something else. Play something else here.
I mean, why don't you try the Plucky Squire?
I don't. It's because I haven't even opened it yet. I don't want to install it. I'm not gonna.
I do think it's like 20 gigs. So
I mean, it looks cool. I've heard.
it looks great. So hopefully.
Should I play those Astro Bot levels? I haven't played either of those new levels that came out.
Oh yeah, I haven't either. Like I don't know if they're like big levels, like the Christmas level, or if they're like the time trial levels. Yeah, I haven't tried them either. You should do it.
We'll do that.
Would be curious to see. You know what's kind of crazy?
What?
I was looking at my my PS3 games, or PS5 games, and I've got like a weird number of like games that start with the letter A. Like it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of games that start with the letter A. Like a lot more than most systems that I have.
Everything's out of alphabetical order right now, so I need to find it.
Do you ever think about, like, do you ever look at your collection and like be like, oh, I don't have a game that starts with the letter Q for this system. I don't have a game that starts with, the letter H for this system. And then you're like, ooh, what can I buy? Like, I don't think I've ever actually done that. Like, got out of my way to like buy a game just to like fill in a letter on a system. But like, I think about it sometimes. like I even thought, like, I feel like that would be a fun video, but it's just like, how do you even like put into words like what the concept for this video is? Like, I'm like picking like I'm looking at like every system that I have, and like I have to buy a game to represent every letter in the alphabet for this system. Master Safer says, I've done that. It sucked.
I gotta put my skills to the ultimate test. I'm probably gonna embarrass myself.
Like as many
Vicious
NES
Void.
games as I've got, I don't think I've got a Q game. I don't have Qbert. I think Q is pretty common as a system, is one I don't have a letter for. Yeah, Quantum Break that's covered on Xbox One. The Coury, I know that's covered on PS5. What about Switch? Let me take a little peek at Switch. Well, we got Q on Switch. I want P on Switch. No, I do not have a Q on Switch. No Q on Switch.
What are you gonna get?
Obviously, Quest 64 takes care of that on N64.
my controller.
What about that as a video concept? Like
games,
like you review,
every one game for every letter of the alphabet.
Or just like every system that you own, you have to review one game. You have to own and review one game that starts with the letter Q. I feel like Q is probably the hardest. That's probably the one that I guarantee Q is the letter that I lack the most across various systems. Well, this kind of seems like it's not a time trial, but it definitely seems like special world tier levels.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a while, so I'm like, well, out of practice.
You're not being very serious.
Well,
Astro Bot harder than Ninja Warriors.
these levels apparently. I'm just like distracted by like how loud the. What am I doing? How loud the controller is right now.
Oh.
I don't know. It just sounds very loud right now.
Like what sounds are coming from it?
Just the sound effects of the game.
I honestly don't remember the game sound effects coming out of the speaker.
I'm like embarrassing myself here. I cannot seem to.
Oh, really? Tom Will's Strange Gamer podcast does the Alphabet Soup series, which is basically what Try is talking about. Okay.
What is it called?
Alphabet Soup series
sliding off of
on
them, or am I just cannot see for some reason? Cannot see like that I'm standing on them or not.
Sounds like you need to play this level on a 3DS or something. You're probably rushing too much because this looks like a time trial level, but it's not. Oh yeah, Quake on various systems. So I've got Quake 1 and Quake 2 on PS5 and the Coury. So does anyone in your family ever bring up the Coury again?
No.
Your son got over letting that one character die?
Yeah, it hasn't come up in a long time.
The best game for each month since 1990? Wow, that'll be a long video. It'd be 12 times 35 basically? That's a lot of games for one video. I'm sure there would be a lot of months where it's like, well, I haven't even played a game from that month. What is it?
I don't know what my problem is. Like,
Mr. Sensible says release dates before the mid-90s can also be pretty sketchy. You know, I thought it was interesting in a recent GameSack video. I forget which one it was, but Joe pointed out that, you know, he kept records of when he bought games back in the day, and he still has those records. And he was able to say, hey, Wikipedia says this game came out on this day, and that is wrong because I got it on this day.
that's pretty cool. I mean, think about
That's
that.
pretty cool that he was able to refute that.
Depth perception is.
Well, that's what you played a single plane brawler tonight and it just like put you completely into 2D. You know, in addition to the new levels, this game got a PS5 Pro patch where it always runs at the highest resolution, apparently. I'm sure you are noticing extremely.
Yes.
As you play on that small 4K TV that you have over your desk.
Yes.
You need to pee, Sandy. Is that what this is about? You need to go pee?
That's what this is about. Honestly, is that what this is about?
You can never tell whether the sit and stare is I need to pee, I need to poop, or I'm really bored, do something interesting. You want to go pee? Okay.
Come. What the heck is going on here? What is going on? It's like painful. Just as painful for me as it probably is for you. Finally. I guess it wasn't even that long, really. I'll say Hachi. So there's just one bot per level, I guess. It's Hachi. Hachi. So is there only one per? Yeah. I did it.
You did it!
It wasn't that much longer. I was pretty close.
Oh, well, apparently I'm just over here screwing you up then.
Yeah.
I know I've mentioned this on the Backloggery stream. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on our stream here too. But I've talked before about how like I've got like these new neighbors that moved into a house.
The ones that are like
they always leave the window up and I can see their paused TV.
Yeah.
Like the TV, I don't know, they've probably been there for 4, 5, 6 months. And like they leave the window open all the time. It's not like I'm trying to snoop, but like I can very clearly see the TV when I take Sandy out to pee at night.
Yeah.
It's just there. I can't help but see it. And like in all of these months, I've seen a moving picture on that TV like twice.
Right.
Like seriously, like twice. Like, it's always paused. Sometimes it's paused on the same thing for like 2-3 days. It's definitely not OLED because like it would it'd do like the automatic like brightness thing if it was like on the same thing for so long. But anyway, like I wonder, A, do they watch our stream? Or B, did someone tell them about this? Because they, like in the past week, they put up like like you know those like clingy things that you can get for like windows that like make the window look like a frosted glass effect.
Yeah.
Like my
Maybe
my
they
parents
watched the
have.
stream. Yeah.
Yeah, they watch the stream. They're like, oh my gosh. Almost certainly not. But I mean, but I can still see a large colored glow. It probably does not change very often.
So I wonder if this is going to be the last batch of levels, though.
I don't know. I wonder. Did you get a special any special characters from the last level?
I got Heihachi.
Okay. You know who's in this level yet?
No, not yet.
So it's not like the challenge levels where they like fly them away at the start.
I got to spin to get those off me, don't I? We'll find
That
out.
man's dog does not have to pee that much. He's trying to watch our TV.
I don't want to know who it is, though, ahead of time.
I remember talking to John and his wife about it when I was in Germany last year, because we were like wandering around the town at night, and they were talking about how like the way that people leave their windows open and stuff like that, like it varies a lot, like from like various European countries, and like there's a few of the neighbors of my neighbors are European, including the one with the house with the TV that never opens, because I can hear them talking outside. I don't know what language it is, but it's definitely like a Central European language. and like the neighbors directly behind me too, they just leave their windows open, like at night. You just can't help but see. It's awkward. They just leave them open.
I'm like unable to adapt to each new segment without dying on it first, apparently. Or overshooting it.
Oops. Man, I hope my fiber internet comes soon.
Yeah, when's it supposed to happen?
Well, there's just like there's a gas station that's being built outside my neighborhood, and it's just like taking months. And they said that like once that is done, they can get their permit to connect the neighborhood to the main pipes.
Oh, so they haven't even like really started prepping at all for it. They still need to get the permits.
Well, I mean, this was like back in like November.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe they were able to get the permit. I don't know. Or I mean, they had got the ball rolling with the North Carolina Department of Transportation, or whatever Department of North Carolina. They had the ball rolling with them, but they just maybe they had the permit, but they couldn't do it until the construction that was already going on was done. But the wires have been run in my neighborhood for 14 months.
Makes you wonder if like other people have it though.
Oh, well, it's definitely a company that's been operating in North Carolina for several years. So there are markets. It's not like, they are
like
armed and operational.
Bit like, I wonder if they've like other people have already gotten it, and but there's like your specific little area hasn't gotten it because of the gas station. Because
yeah, I think that's what it.
Like building it to like feed a bunch of area, like locations, right?
I'm sure there's other neighborhoods like on the other side of the main road that probably have it already.
Yeah.
I know Drummond Lynn's neighborhood. As far as I know, they have not had fiber run because Lynn sounds very jealous.
My problem. I try to go too quick, really, is what my problem is.
Yeah, like I say, it looks like a time trial level, but it's not.
Yeah, but I like that feeling of, when you get on a pretty good...
Yeah.
It's too short there.
It's like Donkey Kong Country. Like, you don't have to do crazy roll jumps and go super fast, but it feels very satisfying when you do. How many are there of these?
Well, there's 2 of them out so far, so they release one every week.
Oh,
maybe 5. Like, that's what they did with that first batch. None of which I thought were very good. Like, especially the climbing one.
I like them. Did you play the Christmas level?
The Christmas level was better than all of them.
Oh, the Christmas level was like one of the best levels in the entire game. I thought the challenge levels were fun.
I don't know. I thought they were all pretty. I thought they were all pretty mid.
Like, they weren't like.
Think about them.
I didn't play them right away. Like, I probably would have been disappointed if I came back to the game just for that. But since I came back to also play the Christmas level to do that, I thought they were good.
All the levels are not this narrow. Like, there's lots of variety, for sure. This is meant to be just kind of blasted through like this, I think, though.
Oh, I don't think this is anything like modern Sonic.
Am I not holding on the button?
This game has significantly more precise controls than that. And this level is not really representative of what the game is normally like. These are meant to be challenge levels. They're very linear. And Coury is out of practice.
Yeah.
Is making the game not look like it controls as well as it does, perhaps. Oh, the climb. So I typically like the dual sense features. I think the adaptive triggers are usually enjoyable. The rare occasion that they're used, but they are not good for that climbing monkey. I don't like that climbing monkey in general. Like, that's the one power up that I think controls kind of bad. But with the with the adaptive triggers on, that monkey's climbing controls are just like murder on your finger. Oh, we got Voltar in the chat.
Oh.
I'm in my hospital room on a ton of painkillers, and I really appreciate the stream tonight. I'm going to make it, everyone. We are so glad I was hoping we'd hear from you sometime tonight during the stream. That makes me really happy. There's a lot of concerned folks out there for you.
Glad to hear it.
Glad to hear it. It was, I mean, I think we all felt reassured seeing your normal, good-humored self in your little video clip there, but it was, it's pretty scary. Pretty scary, but you've handled it like a champ, it seems. Very glad we were able to get an update from you tonight. Lots of good well wishing here.
Yes. Because
just
I
a little itty bitty heart attack, and right now I'm in AFib. I get put under and shocked tomorrow to hopefully fix it up. All will be well. Thanks to all.
God.
I mean, you know, I saw a lot of people chatting in our own Discord, and I think somewhere else, you know, that they've got lots of family members who have gone through the same kind of situations, and you know, have successfully gone on to get it managed and under control quite easily. So hopefully it will be much the same for you.
I had to play this because people might have seen like me finishing Ninja Warriors and thought that maybe, hey, I was like might be like kind of decent at video games.
Like super good at video games. Well, let's dispel that rumor.
Apparently, it's like holy cow, he beat Ninja Warriors that fast. It must be like actually like not too bad at games. It turns out, yes, I'm not.
You let it go to your head, and you just like, I feel like you've just been very reckless. Like you're just
I'm more like I mean, I guess that's why I had such a hard time with Returnal. Why I couldn't beat the last biome on my first try, because I'm all gas, no brakes most of the time. So that's what Coury all gas, no brakes Carlson. You know, my dad used to like be known for like getting in car accidents a whole bunch. Like,
it was like one of his defining traits.
Yeah, did I tell you about that?
No.
It was like one of those things, and like people like called him Crash Carlson.
Oh my gosh!
Because he got in like so many like accidents.
Wow. That's Crash Carlson.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like that's such an awesome like if he was of our generation, like that would totally be his internet name, Crash Carl.
Yeah.
But like who were these people that were they were they like his friends or coworkers or like your friends or what?
For sure, like friends.
Like calling him Crash Carlson.
Yep. I'm just flailing here at this point.
You're zombieing it, as we say
Yeah.
on the backlog. You've gone zombie mode. You're just trying really hard to.
I want to finish it before the stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're trying really hard to finish it like right on the dot, 11 o'clock.
Exactly.
There you go. You're taking your time.
Till I fall off, I guess it can't
Oh yeah, those
slide
must be too
off. I
steep.
guess let's just slide off. Jeez.
Landing close to the.
Crash
Yeah,
Bandicoot was
those-
inspired by my dad. Apparently.
You know, I won't say why, or what for, but well, I'll say I gave it a test drive for a podcast, but I won't say what it was for because it's
Wait, what?
secret. But I played. You know, you're talking about Crash Bandicoot. I played like, I don't know, 45, 50 minutes of Crash Team Racing
Yeah.
last week. Because I wanted to try it before it was a partial topic on a podcast we were invited to. I gotta say, I was really into it. I kind of want it. Like, I don't think the Crash
It's
Bandicoot
not an
characters
expensive
are.
game. There's no reason why you shouldn't get
I
it.
mean, it
think
couldn't
that
be,
I
could
actually
it?
have it.
I can't imagine it would be expensive. But I gotta say, it's really fun. Like, I don't really care for the Crash Bandicoot characters, but like, it's really, really well made.
Yeah.
I was enjoying myself and didn't want to stop. Jersey's asking, what Kirby game should I play first? Ooh, I would say, Return to Dreamland Deluxe on the Wii. I would say that. I mean, it's one of the best and like one of like the most like like currently accessible. I would say. I mean, Kirby's Adventure is a good suggestion for a starting game. And as is Superstar. I mean, so to give you a little Kirby history, You know, your original Dreamland, you don't have powers. You just, you know, inhale and spit out enemies. Very simple, very short game. I like it, but it's, you know, not kind of what we've come to know for Kirby, right? So, you know, Adventure was the first one with powers, and it is excellent. It is really, really good. Your abilities with those powers are relatively binary, though. Like, power does this. Then it was Kirby Superstar that really introduced this whole thing where your powers are much more.
Right at 11:59.
Oh man, who'd you get?
Is it Dark Cloud? The Dark Cloud guy.
That's Dark Cloud 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually kind of surprising that it wasn't there sooner. Come to think of it.
Yeah.
Was Dark Cloud 2? Was Dark Cloud 2?
There's both characters, or there's definitely Dark Cloud 2.
Okay. But anyway,
The
tried to give a little Kirby history 3 hours later. No, but anyway, so Kirby Superstar then introduced this whole thing where like the abilities are much more robust, like more like really kind of like a prototype for Smash Brothers, and like, you know, the way you are moving or jumping or the direction you're pressing or certain combos, like you can do very robust attacks with your abilities. And for some reason, they abandoned that until Kirby's Return to Dreamland, like 15 years later, on the Wii. And it was incredible. You know, Kirby Superstar is more like a variety game where it, you know, you've kind of got short scenarios, whereas Kirby's Return to Dreamland is like Kirby Superstar, except it's like one singular cohesive adventure. So I think it's if you don't mind starting with like 8-bit and 16-bit, like I think starting with Kirby's Adventure and then Kirby Superstar are really, really good ideas. But if you want like a singular game that like represents like the best Kirby at its best, that's like on a modern platform, I would say Return to Dreamland Deluxe on Switch would be the way to go. Like that would be, I feel like that, like if I wanted to like if I was positive that a person was like going to stick with the series and like, you know, I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, start with Kirby's Dreamland, Kirby's Adventure, whatever. But like if I wanted you to like play like a singular game that like really sells you on the greatness of the series, I would say Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I mean, Forgotten Land is fantastic, but, you know, being the only true 3D platformer in the series, like, it doesn't tell you that much about, like, what the core gameplay and series as a whole is about. But Forgotten Land is top tier. You know, I actually did a little, it's like a little mini podcast that we were both invited actually to, this it's called the Fun and Games Podcast, and they get like guests to do these little things that they call side quests, where you just like talk about a game you like for, you know, 5 to 15 minutes or something. And I actually chose Kirby in the Forgotten Land, but spoilers, I end up talking about so much like ancillary stuff that like I actually don't talk about like Kirby in the Forgotten Land that much. Like I talk about how much I wanted a game like that. And I even talk about Astro Bot because I feel like a lot of the stuff behind Astro Bot's success.
Did you script it or did you?
I scripted it, well, because
Yeah, I
He
mean,
sent
that's
me-
what I'm doing too. Is like I'm.
He
scripting
sent
my-
me an example that Chris did,
Yeah,
Zodiac,
yeah.
and like it sounded to me like he scripted it.
Where's the
But he's just very good at like talking about stuff with like a very even pace anyway. So maybe he didn't, but it sounded, you know, I would not have been able to speak of it that in that same way without scripting. So I scripted, and you know, I apologized for how much he would have to edit it. But he said, "Oh, I've done much worse."
I'm doing one too. Need to get that. Literally get anything done, I guess.
I ended up just doing it the same day. He asked for it on a day where I was able to just immediately do it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I had to him within like 6 hours.
When was it? I feel like he asked me like months ago.
Month and a half
Okay,
and a
so
half
it was
ago,
right around the same
probably.
The RC car.
Oh, Fenrir says Coury has a podcast appearances. Is it the Brakeman X?
Oh yeah,
thing?
yeah. I'm doing the Brakeman X on Wednesday.
Cool. I saw Voltar did that as well.
Yeah.
I think he was like the second guest. I think I was the second guest, and he was like maybe the third or fourth.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool thing that they're doing. So like,
It's a fun format.
yeah. So like, what's neat about it is one of our Patreon supporters goes by Brakeman X. He's actually like a college professor. Like
Yeah.
I forget if his main thing is like teaching film, but I know he teaches because he invited us to do like a virtual
Like years
talk.
ago.
Yeah, several years ago to his class. I think it was on video game history, I want to say. I don't think it was like game development. I think it was game history. But anyway, he's reviving this show back from his like college days. It's just called The Game Show.
Yeah.
And it's on his YouTube channel, Brakeman X. And they believe that at the time, this show that they did was like the first like gaming podcast. Like it was before podcasts were even a thing.
Mhm.
Like it might have been before iPods were a thing. And they did like I think like an audio and video show. Where you know, they just like talked about the news and stuff. So they're like kind of reviving it, and like they have like him and two or three other of the guys that was part of the original crew, and then like two younger newcomers, and then they invite guests, and they kind of just like do like a round of questions for the guest, and just have a little conversation, and yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
and like just like specific questions for you.
Yeah. They're like they kind of come. I mean, you know, he's a teacher, so it kind of feels like a class in a way,
Yeah.
almost. Like it feels like everyone has come in with their homework, you know, for the guest, you know, and you know, just spark some fun conversation points. You know, kind of a good way to have like multiple viewpoints and multiple like experiences with games and games history, like kind of come at it. You know, because like two of the hosts were younger, and you know, might not have like the same experience of going back quite as far, and so you know, they kind of had different questions and stuff like that. So you know, it's kind of a good way to get a variety of perspectives asking a singular guest. So yeah, check that out. It's It's on the Breakman X YouTube channel.
Breakman X. Yep.
Look for Coury on there on Wednesday. What is it, like 9 or 10
and it's live
o'clock?
too. It's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's a live podcast. I think they might also like dual stream it to Twitch. And also I'm just noticing for some reason you've got a modern golf game on here.
Oh yeah, so this was free on PlayStation Plus, and then me and CGQ Chris started playing. He's like, "Oh, we should play it with each other."
Yeah.
And we just can like play around a golf, and we just like hang out and talk.
I didn't think you had PS5.
Well, he has a PS4, and you can play with PS4.
Okay.
But then I played it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna buy it as $20." Like I bought the physical copy, but I can just play it because it was on PlayStation Plus. It's really fun. But look at how creepy my guy looks, though. my version of me. Look at him.
I don't know. I don't think he looks creepy. Like, can you zoom in?
Not right there, but let me see if I can.
Certainness says, I would be so happy if everybody's golf came back. I mean, unfortunately, perhaps fortunately for clap hands, I mean, Sony kind of like let them go independent.
Yeah.
So they're not part of Sony anymore. They're off doing their own thing. So they are doing their own thing, but unfortunately, it was just a mobile game. But then they did do a VR version that you can. What's it called? I bought it, but I've only played it a little.
Like Swing Away or something like that.
Swing Away Golf. I think that sounds about right. I think it's like a VR version of their mobile game. It seemed good from the bit I played. But man, let me tell you, it's tough to top walkabout mini golf. That's like, man, whew, what a game.
But this is pretty good. If you have it on PS Plus, you should try it. It's just like a good.
I don't know if I redeem. There was I think a long stretch of time where I just like forgot that was even a thing and just like probably didn't redeem a lot of games.
Try to do it every month. As soon as
I try to, but I almost never play these things.
Yeah, I only played this because Chris recommended it, and then we could play with each other, and then it was. I'm like, oh, it's good. It's like a fun golf game. And what I think is kind of interesting about this is I don't know if this is true for like the rest, but they release it bi-yearly, like every other year.
Oh, so they're not oversaturating it.
Right.
Like giving it some time to kind of improve, I guess.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of.
So is the 2025 version out yet, or is
I think it's like comes out at the end of this month.
Okay. But I mean, this looks very similar to, like, even the way that they show like the lines to show the direction on the grid, like very similar to Hot Shots and Mario Golf in terms of just like the feedback that they give you. So it looks totally fine, but I bet it doesn't have as good a music as Hot Shots Golf.
No, there's like no music really.
Yeah, I figured there would be.
Which is fine. You can use custom soundtracks if you want. Like I linked up my Apple Music to this and just like listen to music.
I think the lighting is kind of harsh. I'm pretty sure that's probably because you've got HDR on.
I don't know if it has HDR. Oh yeah, it is.
Or do you have like always on HDR on?
No.
Because I actually noticed that too. Like I thought that like the tone mapping maybe looked a little weird.
Well, that was not a very good putt. It's like my.
I feel like if these tree shadows were more diffuse, they'd be less distracting when you're trying to make your
it's just
putt.
like the location there is usually. But I do like the three press motion, or like the input on this. So you hold it down and you get in the white, and then you go. Oh, I screwed it up. Then you got to get in the yellow if you can.
Yeah.
I didn't press it though. I thought it was just going to keep on circling around.
Man, it rolled through that rough. Wow, this is pretty funny seeing you in that patch of grass.
Yeah. I thought it would keep on going around. I never let it go all the way around like that.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, like so many games worked this way, like, NES Golf, for instance. But like, I'm honestly really impressed by how, like 8-bit golf games and like some later golf games too, like how they're able to kind of draw the viewpoint, like based on where that ball could be falling anywhere on the course, right? But then they show the viewpoint like this, like behind your character, right?
Yeah.
Like it has to be like it's generated. Like I would like to know more about like how is that generated?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that. Honestly, I think it's super impressive. Yeah, Eric says it's funny. I have zero desire for real golf, but love a good golf game. I'm the same. Like I don't necessarily care to have this like realistic presentation. Like, I feel like I don't necessarily want to have like the gameplay be particularly cartoony or unrealistic, but I do like the hot shots style of golf.
Right.
Like, I like to have a little. If I'm going to be playing it, I like to have at least a little whimsy. Oh, it hit the pole.
I know. Yeah, this is 2K23.
I learned to play golf games with Mario Golf on N64, so like I've never really taken to like the more like sprite-based styles of golf, like on NES and stuff. But I still just am very fascinated by how they work, because it's really cool to me that they can generate that behind the player perspective based on anywhere that ball could fall. Like I just think that's really cool.
Oh, it happened again. I hit the. That's at the pin.
Oh wow, you're just like that good. Are you sure you don't have like auto aim on or something?
No.
See, this is why you can't play Astro Bot. All of your skills have gone into golf.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like for $20 is like a good, it's like a nice little golf game.
I'm sure there's a physical copy.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
I
got the physical copy for $20.
I mean, you've been talking about digital games all stream,
Well, I mean, I had this. It was free on PlayStation Plus, and that's where I tried it. And then I was like, oh well, I'll get the physical copy because I just want to have it anyways.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun, it's more realistic looking than Hot Shots Golf. It doesn't.
Yeah, but it looks like it plays essentially the same.
Yeah.
Like the meter representation is different, but functionally it's the same thing.
Right.
Like the only difference is you probably don't have like power shots.
Right. I like listening to the crowd though. They're like, oh. Still behind though. It's just you get extra XP.
How do you determine your putt power? Because it looks like
oh shoot.
Does it automatically
Whoops.
give you the right amount of
I was
power
looking at something else.
for putting, or because all I see you do is like just try to get it onto the yellow mark.
No, the yellow mark is where it ends up. It comes
so
out
you're
from the
also
inside
determining
there.
your strength. Okay, I see.
Like I'm falling apart here. I just like really screwed it up.
Look at that overlay with like Coury Carlson in the corner. Like I could totally see a real golfer
With that name.
named Coury Carlson. I mean, I see how golf is presented on TV. Whenever I visit my parents' house, because like that's like the main thing my dad watches on TV.
Really?
Yeah, he basically always has golf on. If golf is on, he has golf on. Like I think there's even I think there's a golf channel.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like he watches golf all the time.
I don't really know how to put like a spin on.
Like he was never even an avid player. Like he probably used his clubs like only a couple of times after I was born.
Yeah.
But
he just likes it.
But he likes watching it. He likes watching it. He likes following, the scores.
Yeah.
And who's doing well and stuff.
Man, I killed it that on that one. Nothing will ever beat that hole-in-one that I got on Arnold Palmer.
I've never gone back and watched that. I meant to. You said it was
just rolling down.
You said it was better than. You said it was better than that Super Monkey Ball, just like holding the stick forward, and you after being stuck on for an hour.
Yeah,
how could it be better than that?
I mean, it was.
I gotta remember to watch that. I'm going to bring it up right now.
I don't know if it's pretty early in the stream too.
Pretty early?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure someone could give you a time code.
What? When was that last year?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Was it when I was at Retro World?
It might have been. Yeah. There's $5 in container 7 just saying Galf.
Galf. You know what's so funny? So I got the. I mean, I already knew this because there was a few points earlier in the game where they briefly let you control him. But there's like, who I believe is an optional character in Fantasian.
Who is?
And there's a guy.
Okay.
There's a guy, but he has like these like beasts that help him and like perform his special attacks, and his like the beast that he starts with, his name is Galf. Okay, I'm going to look. Arnold Palmer Golf. Okay. Do you remember if it was like early in your time?
I feel like it was pretty early in. It might have been like the second hole or something like that.
Wow.
The journey I've taken everybody on tonight. Played a lot of different games tonight.
Man, the archive is loading very slowly for me. Well, I'll leave it here to check after.
Yeah, I'm about ready to wrap it up myself. Anyways.
Speaking of stream archives, have y'all heard about how Twitch, like starting in April, I think.
What is this?
They are making it so that no one can have more than
It's like,
no one can have more than 100 hours of
Why do I even do
saved
this
clips.
Oh, it did. I got it over. Oh. It's like not a bad hit there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Did you hear about that, Corey?
Yeah,
about
they're
Twitch.
like 1,000 or 100 hours or something like that.
You can only have 100 hours of saved clips, and so I think archives, like archived streams, only last for, only last for, like 2 weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you make it a clip, to save it.
Yeah.
You just clip the whole archive as its own thing, and it just saves it forever until now. So we're, trying to download all of our Twitch archives before then. So, we're going to have to like rebuild our archive on YouTube and like make the backlogger of YouTube
I bet you can
mainstream archive going forward.
If you make a YouTube, if the YouTube's there and then you can export from Twitch to YouTube directly.
Well, I think what I'll do, since we're going to have to like do this anyway, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to record a local version of the stream at like a higher bit rate. Mm-hmm. So that we can like upload like a better version of the stream to YouTube. Maybe it won't matter once I maybe it won't matter once I once I have fiber and can like start streaming at a higher bit rate, but
right.
Like I've never actually tried recording while streaming, like recording just the output, but I suspect it would probably run fine. Like I don't think it would like cause too much like encoding issues, hopefully. Do we archive the MLiG streams on our NAS? Yeah. I don't think we do. You used to download them all, didn't you?
I would download them to pull out the audio, but I never saved them. Maybe that's like a bad idea. I don't know. But the thought of going back and doing it now does not sound very appealing.
Oh yeah. It would almost. I'm sure there would be ample warning should there be some concern about storing them. But like,
yeah.
So.
I'm just like, I can't catch a break. You're just like, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
I wish you could give your golfer a catchphrase. It would definitely be, come on.
Maybe where them cookies at?
Oh, yeah. There you go. where are them cookies at?
I'm almost to the end of this round, so I'm just going to finish it. It's a good way to end for the night, I guess. But I highly recommend if anybody has an interest in golf games. I feel like this is a pretty good one.
This series is probably basically like the only golf series out there.
There's an EA one also.
Oh, this isn't EA?
No,
this is
2K.
Who makes that?
Just like 2K games. Or whatever.
Oh.
But I just like the idea that they.
I thought 2K was just like. I thought that was just like part of the year. I thought that was the name of. When people say like sports game 2K something, like I thought they were referring to like the year like 2000 something.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think
Like, I
2K
didn't know that
Sports,
was actually like
previously like the.
I didn't know. I thought it was 2K like year. Like I didn't know it was actually referring to the publisher.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I wonder. I think it was like. Who was like did like the Dreamcast one, like the visual concepts or virtual concepts, whatever it is. But I'm not sure if they are like the same people. I definitely don't follow that at all.
I agree. It does need more Craig Stadler.
But I don't know. I appreciate the fact that they do it like every other year, because there's no reason to release a new one every year,
Other than to make money, but the hunger for golf games probably isn't as great as the hunger for, like, are people really going to buy a golf game every year? No, but there's people that will buy a football game every year. So they're going to do it to make money. But.
Yeah. Get in there.
Go on. Get.
All right, 3 more. But CGQ Chris and I have been playing this, and we're like, oh, we should just like stream it and just like hang out and talk, because that's like what we do is we just like bullshit, we just BS.
Yeah.
And we make it so that the game mode is like you got to watch the other person take their swing too, instead of you can do it where it's like you're both playing simultaneously, but it's more fun if you watch the other person take their swing.
Oh yeah, when you go out of bounds in Mario Golf, Toad goes, "Ow, bang!" Which I was like, "What?"
Oh, he
does
says
that
OB.
even mean?
I get it. Oh yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh, that that
It looked like it was going in.
I've never seen such a confident like cut off until come on so quickly. You're like, oh, come on.
Shoot, I went into the red that time, I think. Way too hard. I guess the game is PGA 2K23. Oh, it like hopped over it. It was that it hadn't bounced like that. Just like I look so annoyed.
Would you play the game that Enchilada is suggesting called Arnold Palmer sits on a rocking chair eating a cheese sandwich talking about the 1970s?
Is it a whole game like that?
Yeah,
like
that's
an
the
FMV
game.
or like a visual novel?
I mean, maybe it's a golf game. Maybe it's a golf game.
He's
And
show
like,
off the ball. It's like, I got it. I did it. Sometimes he puts it between his fingers and he holds it up.
This was the ball that got
Like,
the plus 13.
Like sometimes I don't know what it means, but he's like this. He does like this. It's like I have his golf ball right here for some reason. Found it in my yard.
You know, in my my search for methods to hold Game Boy games, you know, that is a renewed endeavor every several years, right? But at one point, I was looking real hard at like golf ball cases. I was like, oh, I bet you could modify this to be real good for Game Boys games. I never went down that route, but I definitely went to like a sporting goods store and looked at them. I was pretty big on that idea for a bit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
I
like,
think- I think you-
they like, oh, you're looking at them. Someone comes over, you're like, oh, you play? No, I'm looking at these to store my Game Boy games. Imagine just like what the sales associate would be like. Oh,
Oh, well, let me go help someone else who's actually a serious customer.
I'm just looking at these so I can see what they're like, so I can buy them online.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus 14. Come
I
on.
think I literally did bring like
So you gonna do it?
a copy of Tetris or something to like see if the size would fit.
You get money to buy. You get golf dollars.
Golf bucks.
I don't know if that's what they're really called, but look at Arthur up there at the top there.
Oh yeah, there he is. He's looking for them cookies.
My golfer level. I've reached golfer level 5.
Wow. I got real tired of the PSVR everybody's golf because like the leveling up just seemed to go really slow.
I somehow got a new ball pack.
That's right. I did try to bring. I mean, I brought the Time Sleuth into Best Buy, but obviously they didn't let me do it. I tried. Oh, the stream page crashed. I keep getting like this keeps happening to me. Like I keep getting random. It happened more the other week, but
I haven't set the
random
very
like
by the way.
stream page crashes for who knows why.
Well, I think that'll do it.
Yeah,
A lot of ups and downs this stream,
There's variety,
but
you know?
we ended up okay.
Yeah. And so did Voltar.
Yes, exactly.
If you're still here, glad you stopped by.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks everybody who donated, and I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead of them. And we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah, we'll be working on that SVS video.
Yep. The SVS. All right, everybody. See you soon. Take care. Good night.
Good night.